Just want to talk about something that we all can relate to. I mean, sometimes when you're dealing with strangers, it's difficult because you don't know them. You don't know how their temperament is. You don't know how they're going to react to things that you say to them because they're strangers and you don't have any experience or any frame of reference to determine, okay, if I say this to them, they're going to respond this way. So sometimes at work, your boss may tell you, hey, go pass this message to so and so. Go tell them that they can't do this or they can't do that. That's a normal thing that happens at jobs. And a couple years ago, this happened to me. My boss told me to tell a contractor, an outside contractor who was at our job remodeling our workplace. My boss told me to tell that contractor not to move the furniture when he was remodeling, work around it. And as I was going upstairs to actually tell the contractor this, I could see him moving couches and just moving things, right? So I go up to him and I say, hey man, the boss says you can't do that. And he just looked at me and I could tell that he was offended and I could tell that he was really upset that I told him that. And I left after that because I just could tell that he was upset by it. And this guy, I stayed there for a while remodeling. It took about a year for these guys to finish remodeling. So a year later, when they were finished, I was having a conversation with a coworker, and he just so happened to be in a conversation too. And he said, he just brought up randomly, hey, when I first started working here, I remember you were really mean to me. And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, you remember that day you told me I couldn't move the furniture? He said, I really felt bad after that, and I was stewing over that for a long time. And I said, first of all, I didn't tell you that. The boss told me to tell you that. That's not my command. That's his command. You should be upset with him, not me. And he said, yeah, I know. I'm over it now. And I told him, thanks, man. I'm glad that you actually opened up to me about it because you could have took it a whole different direction. If you were really that upset over it, you could have stewed on it and did something violent to me. And things like that happen all the time. And it taught me something. That situation taught me that you don't know where a person is psychologically, physiologically, chemically, biologically, spiritually, emotionally. You don't know where a person is when it comes to those things, especially a stranger. It's hard enough determining how people we know are going to react. But to go up to a complete stranger, somebody you don't know at all, and have to tell them something negative or tell them something bad or tell them something that they can't do, it's a dangerous thing to do because they're going to sometimes they process it in the wrong way. They're going to process it in the wrong way, and they're going to look at you, they're going to make you the object of their hate. Especially if they're the kind of people that feel embarrassed, feel ashamed, or they have these negative emotions that they feel. They're sensitive in that way. I mean, you got to take that kind of stuff seriously because these people could actually kill you. That's why workplace violence happens. You might say something to somebody and you don't think you said anything mean or disrespectful or offensive. You think that you might be said something happy. But in their mind, they process it as, you said something negative to them. You said something mean to them and they stew on that and they're thinking about that every day and you don't even know. And one day they come to work and they shoot you and you're like, for what? All because of that misunderstanding, that disconnect, that they perceived it as negative, you perceived it as normal. And that's a very serious thing. So I'm just giving you guys advice on how to deal with strangers. If you're ever in a situation where you have to confront a stranger in a negative way, don't do it. Because you don't know how that person is going to react emotionally. So you're dealing with a landmine. You're walking and you're just going to hope that things don't blow up. And you don't want to be in that situation at all. So just let the stranger be. Let them be over there. You be over here. And that's just how you survive in life. Because if you're going around confronting strangers, you don't know which one of these people is going to be the one that's going to react in a negative way. You don't know. Things might go fine. This guy might take things well, he might take things well, but this guy over here, you might tell him something, and he's going to think about that every single day, and he's going to do something violent to you. And the whole time, you didn't even know that he felt that way. You thought that you were respectful, but in his mind, you weren't. So that's why it's just better to not even deal with strangers in that negative way. You got to be mindful of these things, because this is how we survive in life. Peace.